today I'm here with some of my colleagues doing a speed networking event at the Chobham Academy.
It was a real pleasure to talk to young people about careers in art, design and technology, and in some cases performance, which are all areas that the V&A covers.
I didn't really have anyone within my school who would kind of support me to do what I was interested in. So by the time I finished my GCSEs, I kind of felt a bit disheartened. I felt like I couldn't really go into what I was interested in. So I always thought as well, to work in a museum, you had to be super academic, you had to be Dr. whoever from wherever, and none of my family went to university, so I felt like I just didn't really know if I could fit or find a place for myself within the sector. Maybe there was a lack of understanding amongst the students about exactly what you can do studying arts. A lot of them talked about really loving their time doing art at school because, unlike maths where there is only one right answer, it's their time to kind of lead their own work, decide how they're going to work and what kind of things they're going to practice on. They didn't really understand that actually that's an incredibly useful skill for all sorts of careers, and that as you go further up and out of school and into studying, you do get to kind of choose your own path much more and get to take strands from different ways of working to form your own kind of career potentially.
I'm really interested and have met some amazing people who work in an interdisciplinary way, and I think in terms of future careers this is incredibly important about how an architect can work with a biologist, can work with somebody who has incredible sort of material knowledge. You can see that the way that careers are going, that kind of sense of collaboration and working and sharing skills and knowledge is going to be really important. When I started my A-levels, I did start working in the bookshop at Tate Britain, and I found that incredibly inspirational and useful because I had this pool of people who were sort of 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years older than me, who I could watch and look at and see what were all the possibilities from careers in art and design.
I didn't start working in a museum. I studied political science and economy, but I had always been really interested in looking at the power of culture as a way to connect us. So a lot of my work is about sort of looking at opportunities for the museum to engage with colleagues, audience around the world, and really sort of creating those bridges between us here and creative practitioners or museum colleagues or other public across the world.
I look after about 100 people who spend a lot of their time looking after the things that we have in the museum.
What I've done today is come and talk to people about my career, how I came to be in this job, and why I like doing it.
I run a budget of £4 million every year, which I'm responsible for. So I spend quite a lot of time looking at Excel spreadsheets, trying to figure out what we're spending money on and making sure that we actually spend it on the things we're supposed to be spending it on. And quite a lot of time thinking about how we are using that most precious commodity that we have in the museum, which is our time, to the best effect, and trying to come up with really good and creative ways of using that time as well.
What I do is I use objects, clothes, shoes, bags, fabrics, to tell stories about human history, creativity, ingenuity. A kind of typical day, I might be working on an exhibition. I found really lucky because exhibitions are those temporary stories that you come to see, and those exhibitions take about 3 years to put on. And it's the kind of engine that drives a museum like the V&A.
They were interested in my background in fashion, and there was a group of students that were really interested in fashion design as a career. Some of the best fashion colleges in the world are here in London on their doorstep.
I think that the way in which they live their lives and the lives they want to lead is going to kind of push them into really interesting careers, and they're going to build those interests around the way they live their lives, and I think that's important for careers in art and design.